right, so an update on how I'm doing. I ended up not taking citalopram last night. I'm tired of being tired. And on top of that, I got my Moderna booster a couple days ago. It's still sore. I should take the band-aid off, but my arm's sore and I don't want to add to it by ripping off the band-aid. I mean, I should, but who cares? It'll come off eventually. But yeah, no, so booster shot, it's the third dose of the booster. I've had two Pfizers and now the Moderna, and yeah, it was rough. Because your immune system's like, oh, I've seen this before, and sort of just goes like full on. And so yeah, I got the full on side effects of that. I remember the first Pfizer was not so bad. I think the second one I reacted a bit more, but now the Moderna on top of it, and then also having citalopram knocking me out. Yeah, it's just a bit much. So with this one, I think with the second Pfizer, I just felt a bit off, and I don't really remember. I could look through my Facebook and figure it out, but I can't be bothered. This time, so not was it yesterday? Oh, my sense of time is so off. I've spent so much time in bed because of the citalopram. But I think yesterday I woke up with chills and headache, full body muscle pain, not just where the needle went in, and an almost blocked nose. And it was really horrible. But because of the blocked nose, I think that might have been my hay fever. So I went and took some Dimetap, and I feel like once that kicked in, the rest of the madness settled down. I don't know if that's related or if it just happened to be at the same time or whatever. But it took a little while to clear up. After that, I was mostly okay, just a feeling of being unwell, and then the tiredness all day, which I think was more the medication. Yeah, so it's rough if you haven't had the third dose of a COVID vaccine. The third one for me was rough. But yeah, no, with that on top of the meds, I was just I can't be tired all the time. Genuinely tired of being tired. So I didn't take citalopram last night, and today I actually feel much more alert. I haven't had needed to lie down. And after 2 days in bed, yesterday, I didn't even bother changing out of my pajamas. It was just I could just tell I wasn't going to do anything. I spent most of the day in bed again. So recovering from Moderna and also the citalopram knocking me around. So after 2 days in bed, not changing and all that, I just felt really gross, especially being more awake today and being more conscious of how gross it all was. So yeah, I actually had a shower this morning, which usually I only shower on a Sunday, which is better than I know some people are like, ew, but in the past when I was depressed, I would only shower once a month, once every 2 months, once every, I don't even remember when. So once a week, for me to keep that up for 3 years or however long it's been, maybe 4 years by now, that's pretty good for me. But yeah, today I was just feeling so gross after spending so much time in bed. So yeah, had a shower, I chucked my pajamas in the wash, usually I'd wash them on a Sunday as well. Just yeah, no. I even thought about washing my sheets again, but we're not going that far at this stage. Hopefully when I get in tonight, it won't feel so gross. But I do have my other sheets on standby if I need them. Yeah, so 2 days in bed was... And actually most of the week in bed because I've just been that messed up. So yeah, after the last video, yeah, I think I did spend a lot of time in bed. Even though I said I was feeling a bit better. No, it didn't turn out that way. Completely unproductive. Probably didn't help with the rain around. But good time to just stay snug in bed rather than, trying to fight it. Today is more sunny. Bit warm outside, so I haven't really done much. I've been slow. Because I am still feeling I think with the Moderna, maybe I have a feeling of just this vague unwellness. What did I write on Facebook? Sometimes Facebook helps me remember stuff. Yeah, no, so last night, I just went to bed with the headache and a bit of a sore arm. This morning, no headache, but my armpit where my lymph nodes are going off, that's sore. And of course the arm's still sore, but everything else is pretty alright. Just yeah, this vague feeling of not being 100%. When you get sick and there's this sort of weird feeling that things aren't quite right. Even though I don't have any of the other symptoms. Yeah, it's just a sort of vague feeling. With citalopram, yeah, no, I'm feeling a lot better having not taken it. And it's kind of disappointing that, yeah, I didn't react the way that I used to. It used to just give me a low appetite and a bit of jitteriness. And I think now I just have a little bit of jitteriness, although it's died down a bit. My heart rate, yeah, seems to be normal. Um, yeah, so once it got into my system, it was just making me really tired, and I can't be tired. Like, if I want to drive to bonsai next week, I need to be awake enough for that. So, yeah, uh, I sort of calculated how much goes into your body on like really vague calculations. So citalopram has a 36-hour half-life. I simplified that to 24 hours just so that it matched up with when I was taking it. And so like, if it had a 24-hour half-life and you were taking it once a day at the same time, then the maximum amount you'd have in your body would be 10 milligrams of it just sort of building up over time. Yeah, very vague mathematics. And so by now, actually taking into account the 36-hour half-life after having a maximum of 10 milligrams in my system, I should be back down to under 5 milligrams by now. So in a few more days, most of it should be out of my system and I should be back to normal. Yeah, a little bit of nerdiness. I may not be explaining what I mean very well because I just can't be bothered to go into the details of it. But if you get what I mean, then yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. So I had a bit of that jitteriness this morning, but it seems to have calmed down. Um, I guess that's just more of it getting out of my system, or maybe something about this morning was just like, the jitteriness. So, like, I guess it's not really anxiety or adrenaline. I don't know how to explain it. Sort of agitation. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry to be so vague. It's so difficult to explain what I experience sometimes. But yeah, so I'm kind of annoyed because, yes, okay, I've got the COVID stuff sorted out as best I can with, what we've got on offer. I've been watching with interest the idea of creating a universal coronavirus vaccine, which I've heard that they're working on. Like, they discovered people who had the original SARS seem to be very immune to SARS-2, COVID-19. And then they've been doing some experiments, I think with mice at this point. I don't know if they've done any in people, but like, exposing them either to the original SARS or bat coronaviruses. And they seem to have a pretty good response against COVID-19 and other coronaviruses. So it could be interesting stuff if we can get it to work because it has a potential to cure the common cold, which is a thing that, we've sort of dreamed about as a species for a long time and not quite gotten to because there are other coronaviruses that go around, just not as crazy as this one. Anyway, so with the current, what we have is just a vaccine that was developed against the original Wuhan strain. Great, okay, does provide some protection. I'm as protected as I can be. So that's the physical side of my health, but what about the psychological side of my health? Because, yeah, the psychiatrists are all doing telehealth, which does not suit me for reasons I've explained previously. So what do I do about my mental health? Yeah, the telehealth is like, the social distancing, protect the physical health, but what about my mental health? Is that not important as well? Because clearly I'm not the most balanced person and I've run out of ideas. Yeah. But, so with the citalopram knocking me out and putting me in bed for so long, I was like, that's basically forcing depression behavior on me anyway. Like when I was really, really badly depressed, I would spend a lot of time in bed, and the medication was making me spend a lot of time in bed. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the opposite of what we want, isn't it? So, yeah, I guess I just can't take medication. I'm not willing to try any others because, I thought the citalopram would just be the appetite thing. Unfortunately, no, my body has changed. I've gotten old. I don't know exactly what it is about my body that's doing this, but, my stomach has changed over time. Like these days, I realize I'm lactose intolerant to a certain degree, and I might have a soy intolerance. So, which is a kind of embarrassing being half Japanese, having a soy intolerance. If I'm going to have miso soup these days, I have to be close to a bathroom. Very Jim Jeffries style approach. Yeah, I don't know. But, if my stomach is not processing food the way it used to, then maybe that explains some of the medication issues changing over time. Although it's possible I could have been lactose intolerant for a while and just not realized because it wasn't terrible. And especially because I stay home a lot, so it wouldn't have bothered me that much if I can just run to the bathroom so easily. Um, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's some rambling for today. Mainly Moderna and meds. So the Moderna sort of chilled out. I think if you haven't got your booster shot and you're wondering about it, maybe give yourself 2 days to recover. First day after it, yeah, woke up pretty awful. Second day today, um, yeah, no, today's going all right. Especially because I'm off the citalopram. So yeah, but you know, still hurts to lift my arm a bit. So especially if you're doing physical stuff, maybe you'd want to take the extra day off. But I think after that it should be all right. As for medication, unfortunately for me, it just doesn't work out well. Most other people trying medication will not have the problems that I have. Like 5 milligrams is a quarter dose. It's less than, you know, people with liver damage take, and I'm still having these terrible reactions. I've just lost the lottery on medication, I guess. So don't know what I'm gonna do, but that's yeah, that's an update. Very very disconnected thoughts and all that. That's where my brain's at. Now I've got to think of something to actually do with my day and my awakeness. And it's just a shame that I can't figure out how to make myself feel better overall. But got to keep trying, right? There's not really any other option. Bye!